6 games into the 2025 NFL season, and this has been one of the craziest and most unpredictable years we have seen in a very long time. And the madness does not seem to be ending anytime soon. We got injuries at the quarterback position that have completely halted AFC powerhouses like the Cincinnati Bengals, like the Baltimore Ravens. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs currently sit third within the AFC West, a division that they have completely ran for the last 8 seasons. A lot of surprises have happened, but the biggest surprise of them all, one that nobody could have seen coming, and if you say you saw it coming, you are absolutely lying to yourself, is that the Indianapolis Colts are the best team in football. Sitting at 5-1, the Colts are currently the best team in the NFL. They have shocked the entire league. They have taken the NFL by storm. They have made the 2025 NFL season theirs, and quite frankly, nobody seems to care. I don't think anybody really, nobody yet seems to have taken notice and truly believes it, because if somebody would have came to us, if somebody would have sat you and I down and said before the season and said the Indianapolis Colts are going to start 5-1 through the first 6 games, we would have thought that person was not right in the head. We would have thought that person was a little bit off. And not only have they started the season off 5-1, but they are absolutely killing. They're dominating. The Colts are putting up 32 points a game on these teams. They're outscoring their opponents by an average of double digits. The Colts have no business being this good. Indianapolis should not be this good. They came out of nowhere. They are dominating their opponents, and it's looking like they're not trying to stop anytime soon. They're going to ride this thing out completely. They fully believe in that organization. They fully believe in the culture that they have built, and it starts with the man under center. It starts with the man under center. Daniel Jones went to Indianapolis, and he must have got off the plane. Must have went through the franchise's opening doors in that organization, in that facility, and some of Peyton Manning's greatness had to have rubbed off on him. Some of the Sheriff's greatness had to have rubbed off on him, because we know damn well this is not the same Daniel Jones we saw in New York the first 6 years of his career. This can't be the same Daniel Jones. Bro is absolutely turning up. He is turning heads. And I know New York Giants fans, I know y'all are hot. I know y'all are hot. You guys can, the blow is a little bit lightened. You guys can try and not think about it and try and mask it, because, yeah, Jackson Dart is exciting. He's new. He's young. We got Cam Scatterbo, who got early CTE, and they're bringing some excitement to the city of New York, and it's dope. Yeah. I know. But we know deep down, the rest of us fans know deep down, you guys are hurt by this Daniel Jones situation, because you guys let Saquon Barkley walk. The Giants let Saquon Barkley walk, and he has one of the greatest seasons a running back has ever had in NFL history. And then the moment you let Daniel Jones walk, he goes ahead and turns into some sort of version of Big Ben Roethlisberger, right? He is absolutely dominating. Shit, as a Vikings fan, I'm still a little salty. You telling me on our roster last year, we had Sam Darnold, who picked up right where he left off last year, and he is absolutely killing over there in Seattle. We had Daniel Jones on our practice roster, picked him up mid-season for what seems like no reason at all, apparently. And somehow we looked at Justin Jefferson. The Vikings looked at the Super Bowl roster that they have and said, yep, let's actually X those two guys, and let's go with JJ McCarthy, a guy who's coming off a knee injury, a guy who has yet to prove himself and even play a snap down within the NFL. Hindsight's 2020. And as a Vikings fan, I'm still optimistic about JJ McCarthy, but it just right now might not have been the smartest move. But either way, here in 2025, Daniel Jones is on pace to throw for over 3,500 passing yards, score a total of 35 touchdowns, and he is putting up MVP type numbers for the Indianapolis Colts. And he's not the only one. He is not the only one. Jonathan Taylor, we cannot talk enough about. Right now, through 6 games, the best running back in the NFL. He is on pace to record over 2,100 yards from scrimmage, score 22 touchdowns this year, averaging over 5 yards per carry. He already has 3 games in which he's rushed for well over 100 yards and scored 3 touchdowns twice. It is safe to say that another all-pro year is in the works for JT. And I have to ask you guys, how is this possible? How is this possible for a franchise that we were just laughing at a year ago with the whole Anthony Richardson situation? How is this possible for the franchise we were looking at coming into the season laughing at their quarterback situation and saying, oh, a quarterback battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones could never be me? Can never be our favorite team, right? We were laughing at them. So I need you guys, let me know in the comments if you guys think this is sustainable or if you guys think this is just some early season luck. But man, I got to tell you guys, this seems legit. This seems completely legit. I remember last year through 2 games where the New Orleans Saints, led by Derek Carr, looked like they were some reincarnated version of the 2000 St. Louis Rams, greatest show on turf. They were putting up like 47 points through the first 2 games, and instead of believing in them, we all knew it was some BS, right? Like we all knew that the Saints weren't really like that, and they eventually showed us their true colors and became what we thought they were going to become, which was a bad football team, right? This situation is not that. Through 6 games, the Colts realistically should be 6-0. Had Adonai Mitchell not dropped the ball before crossing the goal line, had he just scored like a regular human being, they would be 6-0, undefeated at this point. But for as great as they have been, for as great as the Colts have shown us to be, I think it is safe to say that we all know they are a good football team, right? At this point, if you don't believe that, something's wrong with you. The Colts are a good football team, but here over the next handful of weeks, here down, right? We're 6 games in. We're over a third of this way in of the season. So now the last 2/3 of it are where we're going to really find out and really figure out, are they really a problem to be dealt with in an AFC conference that is struggling, or are these just regular season wins for show? Are these just regular season wins for show? Because the Colts, they got to go to LA next week to play the Chargers. Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers, who are kicking up this year. They still got to play division rival Houston Texans twice. The same with the Jaguars, who have turned a new leaf under Liam Cohen as their head coach. They still got to go to Arrowhead, play that man 15 in the Kansas City Chiefs. They got Pittsburgh. They got Seattle. They got San Fran left as well. So they got some good comp. They got some good comp on their schedule, and that's going to let us know real quick who they are, because who they are when they can no longer fly just under the radar, right? Again, if you're a fan or your team is out there and you still do not believe in the Indianapolis Colts, they will humble you real quick. It doesn't take long to turn on the tape and see why they're putting up over 30 points a game. It doesn't take long to turn on the tape and see why they're outscoring their opponents by an average of double digits, right? Again, this team is legit. This team is legit football team. Now, whether or not they're a real deal playoff championship contending team, that is yet to find out. Speaking of finding something out, man, I still cannot wrap my head around. I still cannot fathom the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals are this bad. Like, obviously, we all knew Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback in the game today. An absolute stud. He is phenomenal when it comes to playing the quarterback position. He's one of them ones, a real deal killer. But you're telling me that the Bengals roster was all along was this bad? You're telling me that Joe Burrow was carrying them like this for the last handful of years, and we're now just seeing how bad this Bengals team really is because Joe Burrow goes down with an injury. Turf toe going to be out a few months. And at times, the Bengals have played in NFL football games, and they have looked like they have no business playing in an NFL football game. They look completely lost. Joe Flacco, they just traded for him. Another thing that just makes zero sense. I'm glad Mike Tomlin finally said something about it, right? The Cleveland Browns, a guy who you thought never made sense to me. The Browns had a guy. They think he's their starting quarterback. He starts the first, 3 games for them. They bench it for Dylan Gabriel. And then you go to trade him to a team within your division that is struggling as well. Why would you, for a 6th round pick, right? A 6th round pick wasn't that serious. Why would you just willingly give your division rival a quarterback when they so desperately need one? Like the Bengals were looking like, again, they were about to go like 0-17. Or they already won 2 games with Joe Burrow. They were looking like they were about to go like 2-15 for the rest of the season. Why would you just willingly help them out? Another topic for another day, but I'm glad Mike Tomlin finally said something. Joe Flacco at least had the Bengals in week 6 competing against a very good Packers squad and at least pulling it to within one score at one point within the second half. But somebody got some explaining to do. Somebody has some explaining to do because either Jake Browning is really just that bad, or the Bengals coaching staff and their front office, everybody in that facility has no idea what they're doing. And quite frankly, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a big combination of both. I think that Jake Browning is not an NFL starting quarterback, clearly. But I think that we should have known how the Bengals have handled their franchise, how that front office and that coaching staff has handled their roster and that team for the last 2 to 3 years, how we have seen them operate and move on a day-to-day basis. We should have known that they have no idea what they're doing. The Bengals should have never paid T. Higgins in the first place. The Bengals should have never paid T. Higgins all that money. You have to pay Jamar Chase, right? He's one, if not the best receiver in the National Football League, 1B, 1A, whatever you want to call it. He's one of them ones. A generational talent, a guy who makes you better. And that's why I don't understand why the Bengals are so bad, because you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins. It can't be that hard to scheme up some plays to get them the football and at least put your offense in a position to score. But you had to pay Jamar Chase, right? But when you lack heavily on an offensive line that continues to get Joe Burrow hit after hit after hit, and you have historically one of the worst defenses in the NFL, you don't just pay your wide receiver to $100 million. Now, do I think T. Higgins is worth that money? Absolutely. I think T. Higgins is worth every single penny that he got paid. I just do not think that those pennies should have come from Cincinnati. I think they should have let him walk. I think they should have let him walk. I think they should have signed and traded him earlier. Again, just a terrible situation with the Bengals uh, holding out on Jamar Chase, only for him to come and have a ridiculous triple crown winner, wide receiver winner year, and you have to pay him even more now because he just proved his value that much more. And you got to double back and say, hey, let's just pay T. Higgins, and then you want to hold out on Trey Hendrickson, your star pass rusher, when your defense is already trash. It just makes zero sense. The Bengals have no idea what they're doing, and again, they're just wasting. Joe Burrow's going to come back. They're not going to be in playoff contention, and it's just another wasted year there in Cincinnati. And we just do not know at this point whether or not Joe Burrow can have any real team success there in a Bengals uniform. Either way, man, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Check back in later this week as the NBA season gets started. Things start to heat up on that end as we look into week 7 of the NFL season and we look ahead to what's to come and players and teams and recaps and all that good stuff. But until next time, peace.